Hi, today we're going to go ahead and teach you how to score the Vanderbilt Assessment scale. The beginning of this, I want to make sure that you have a copy of this in front of you as we go through it. So if you don't have one, go ahead and print one out. Email me and I can forward a copy to you so you can be looking at this as we go through it. The top here is demographic information that the parent will fill out. The Vanderbilt Assessment is best to use between ages 5 and 18. And one of the important questions at the top is the evaluation is based on whether the child is on medication or not on medication at the time that you're filling out this questionnaire. Okay, so the questions on here are all on the Likert scale, 0 through 3, and that's never, occasionally, often, and very often. Most of them you can do the never and occasionally, and that's within normal limits. What we're looking for are excessive amounts of often and very often. The 2s and 3s are the columns that we are really looking at in scoring. So what we have here is the first set of questions, 1 through 9, is measuring hyperactivity and impulsive behaviors. 10 through 18 is measuring the inattentive behaviors. We have 19 through 26, and that is measuring oppositional defiant behaviors. And then items 27 through 40, right here, 27 through 40, and that is measuring conduct disorder. And the last set here, that is items 41 through 47, is measuring anxiety and depression. And that's what you're looking at, and I'll go over specific scales at that time. But then we have the bottom half, which is performance. What performance also is excellent, above average, average, somewhat of a problem, and problematic. We are looking at 4s and 5s on this chart, and we have to have at least one of the categories needs to be a 4 or a 5. Otherwise, they are within normal range. So let me go to our scoring chart, and I can also email you a copy of the scoring chart if you don't have one, but that looks like this, the scoring card. And it's important to know that items 1 through 9 are measuring the hyperactivity and impulsive side of the ADHD. To meet the DSM criteria, the diagnosis of ADHD, one must have at least 6 of the responses of often and very often. In other words, that means score the 2 or 3, 6 out of those items. And there needs to be, and that's for the ADHD, hyperactivity, impulsive, but if you go to items 10 through 18, there could be 6 of those, and that's going to be ADHD meeting the inattentive type. Now, if they score 9, between 1 and 18, that would be the ADHD combined type. So they also have to have a 3 or 4 in your performance scale. That's the questions 48 through 55. The other thing is for oppositional defiant disorder screen, they need to have the 2 to 3, 4 out of the 8 items. So when you're looking at items 19 and 26, they have to have at least 4 of those. So if we pull up this chart and we have the purple section here, which is the 19, whoops, which direction is that? Right there, 19 through 26, they need to have 4 of those to be able to screen positive for oppositional defiant disorder. And then we have conduct disorder screening, and that's going to be this bottom blue section right here on the page. And then the top of the next page is right here. We have conduct disorder. So what that is, you need to have 2 or 3 score 3 out of the 14 items on the subscale. And that would also be your 4 or 5 on your performance evaluation. The other thing for anxiety and depression, which is the orange section right here, and that's the last section, you need to have 3 out of the 7. There are 7 items listed. You need to have 3 of those 7s to screen positive for depression and anxiety. The Vanderbilt scale should not be used alone in making a clinical diagnosis. The clinician must consider information from other sources. The other sources could be collaboration with a physician, another therapist, the school. It could be whoever's prescribing medications for them. It could be the clinical interview as well. So there's other ways to gather this information. You could also have the Vanderbilt conducted. This is the parent form. This is what we use in our agency, but there are other tools that there's Vanderbilt for teachers and for other relationships the child might have that you can use. So if you have any questions on how to score this Vanderbilt, go ahead and email me, and I'll try to give you some answers. And I think that is it, and I will talk to you later. Thanks.